a community where, sorry, okay. We've created a community where we all come together and we do things like these, where we have workshops, we learn new skills, and we do this all with the talent that is within the continent. And I think that's a very amazing initiative. So welcome. Today, our speaker is going to be the lovely Ange. I'm not sure if she's joined yet, but if she has, Ange, please say hello. Okay, perfect. I hope I'm not butchering your name. So it's Angie in Jabire. Oh, I hope I'm right. Give me a wave if I am. And our beautiful Ange is an e-commerce business coach. She's an award-winning entrepreneur. She's an author of the Creative Startup Suite. And basically, what she does is she helps creators and service-based entrepreneurs to create solutions that help their businesses through AI and automation. She's talented. She has an MBA in project management. She has a B-commerce degree. So we are among real talent. We're among real expertise. So I hope that today will have you going home with something that you can, take on and have in your business so that it works well for you. So I'm just going to give Ange a minute to introduce herself so that we can get into this session as quickly as possible because there's so much to learn. Okay, over to you, Ange.
Um, and we can't hear you. I think you are muted. Yes, now.
Yes, now. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tapio, for the introduction. I'm super excited to be with you guys today. My name is Ange Ngavire. It's ANGE. It's Angel in English if you prefer to say it that way. I'm really honored to be amongst you guys. I want to start by thanking the wonderful people who put this community together. So Loretta, Grace, and I believe Mariam. We haven't been introduced, but I think some of you are from here. So I'm from Rwanda. I'm originally from Rwanda, Kigali. Anyone from Rwanda? Can you wave at your auntie? No, no one. Can you tell me where you're watching from? I would like to get to know the people in the community so I can better serve you guys. Oh, I see there's Tando from South Africa, Miriam from Nigeria. Awesome, awesome stuff. So, Tapio, I have already given you a bit of an idea of who I am. I'm a certified e-commerce business coach. Oh, Uganda, Sages. Okay, nice to meet you. So my work really revolves around helping people having businesses that work for them 24/7. And we know that AI enables us to do exactly that, right? So I am fairly new to AI, as most of you are, I assume. AI really came as a necessity, as an extra service that I needed to give to my clients who wanted to build, Zimbabwe also, wanted to build e-commerce storefronts that allow them to also capture leads right away so that they don't lose their leads to the competition, right? So I don't know how versed you all are on AI voice agents or chat agents, but basically what I'm going to give you is is a full working AI voice for a specific niche. So I'm gonna get started. Do we need to wait for anyone, or should I get started right away with the workshop? Because I have a lot to cover and I want to go as fast as I can so that you can note your questions and I answer them as soon as possible.
Yes, thank you so much, Audrey. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. So wonderful. Am I allowed to share my screen?
Yes, I believe you can.
Okay, great. Can you all see my PowerPoint right now? Is it showing?
Okay, now we can.
Okay, great. So the first thing that I want to cover is how your income model is what we're building this AI voice for anyway. But before we can build anything or any solution for any business, we have to be specific about the value that we bring, right? So the value has to come from your niche, from your positioning. And secondly, it has to do with revenue leaks. As much as we're going to learn about the technology, the way you're going to sell it, you're going to have to sell it based on what the business needs. They care very little about technology, most of them at least on the service end. What they need is something that works and something that they can assure that they don't have any revenue leaks, something that removes friction so that they can streamline all their processes. So you need to package this as an outcome more than just a solution or a tech. And that is also something that you're gonna have to sell on a monthly retainer so that your business has something to look forward to every single month. So I'm not really for the one-off kind of solutions. I think that the best way to make a recurring income is to go to build a solution that you can sell on a monthly basis, whether that's a retainer or subscription, whatever that works for your business model. This is exactly where you need to be. So obviously I talked about choosing a high value niche. That's exactly what I'm going to teach you in a bit. So you're gonna have to find a client that has the capital to spend, and the pain that they suffer at the moment has severe financial consequences for them. That's the only way you can sell high value or high ticket offers. So the revenue leak, you're gonna have to look at the customer journey and see where it's leaking. Is it in between nurture or sales? Is it between legend? You're gonna have to find where the bottlenecks are and where the delays are, because this is where they lose money to the competition or just the reputation in general. Then this is where your agent is gonna show up to bring about a solution that makes sure that they are continuously working and operating and they don't lose customers along the way. So you want to have to package it as something that is a 24/7 time response, and it increases the lead conversion and they don't lose any customer along the customer journey. For this specific exercise, I'm going to use a niche on the legal intake monetization blueprint. What I mean by that is that I've chosen a niche in the in the legal, what am I talking about? Excuse me. What I've chosen is to target law firms, and what they currently suffer from are obviously missed calls during rush hour and also after business operations. So the way that I start when I at least work with my client is to first do what I call an AI idea market score. You want to know that your idea has a market, not only a market, but it can also build you up over time, and there's a real demand for what you are trying to sell. So for the sake of this, for this example, I'm gonna be selling an AI voice agent to law firms, let's say in Nairobi. Anyone from Nairobi? Nairobi. Okay, let's see if I can get my score here. Give me a second. It loads. I apologize for the loading time. Okay. So what it's giving me, it's 62%. And it's telling me that is a promising viability, which is strange because when I tried it yesterday, it was giving me 72. So I don't know what happened in between. But what it says here is that there are 3,000 plus law firms that are drawing in clients' intake and calls, and that the AI voice agent will solve a painful and daily bottleneck in underserved legal tech market. So we look at the market size as a beginning and as a demand. Here you see that it is valued at 1.2 billion. That is quite a sizable market, right? And that is projected to be 6.5 in less than 5 years. So here is that the law firms handle high value volumes of Swahili and English client inquiries, and fewer than 5% of any of them use AI or automation for intake. So that tells me that there's a market there, but it also maybe suggests that there's also maybe a pushback or resistance towards automation, which is understandable because they deal with legal matters. So the way to sell it is to really understand how these companies work and how they bring about how automation can work for them. I think giving them a voice agent could work because initially here, all that the voice agent does is to qualify them, to qualify the leads, and to make sure that the clients are really interested in the services so that they can be referred to an advocate or to a lawyer or to a paralegal. So in this instance, this could work. And the competition here is already being given. But this serves a Western-only market, which means that you can definitely position yourself as someone who understands the local market. You could create one that is also very localized in Swahili. So these are all opportunities that needs you to understand the workflow, the pricing, and the current market. Now, I'm using this example as a whole. I am by no means a lawyer or have a proper understanding of the laws in Kenya, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is something that can be localized for your own market, or maybe if you're also targeting the region, that there are many opportunities for you to tap into. So what it shows here is that there are restrictions that, like I talked about when I said that they only have 5% use of automation. It means that there are many regulations there that you need to be aware of when you talk to your clients and when you set up certain things. That's why I said that the voice agent could be the most profitable and easy entry point when you want to serve a market like that. So you need to understand your niche, you need to understand more so the business workflow, the objection that you most likely to hear from your potential clients, and what they need on that specific end. So it's clear that they have at least 15 to 24 hours per week for intake. So if you can really remove that like we said, bottleneck from them and make them understand that they need this service, not as much as replacing people, but really streamlining the current services that they have. So here they give you a realistic revenue range, right? They say that it takes about 3 to 6 months to get your first paying clients and 12 to 18 months to scale. So this is really something that I need you also guys to understand. What I'm teaching here are not things that you can just implement and work tomorrow unless you already have a network of people that you can tap into. So I need you to be patient when you implement a solution like this, and understand that it takes a while to really explain to your potential, your prospect, what is it that you need them to understand from your service, but also the value that you bring with your solution. So here they say the key drivers will be SaaS subscription per firm. Like I said, yes, you need subscription or retainer as a way to maintain your fees and obviously scale over time. So this is just an idea of what it will look like for you to come up with an idea for your AI service or business. I will eventually show you another tool that I use also to really create agents. And this tool gives you the architecture, the core scripts, the workflow, and I'm going to focus on monetize once we are done with the presentation to sort of give you an idea of how you can actually implement this and start charging for your services. Is there any questions so far before I continue?
I think someone
No?
was raising their hand, Phoebe or something.
Oh, I didn't see it. Can they try again, please? No? Nothing? Okay. Okay, so let me go into explaining to you a bit of the platform that we are going to use to build the voice agent. It's called Retail AI. There are plenty voice platforms that you can use. I've decided to use Retail AI. That's the one that I use for myself and for my clients, but there are more. There are VAPI, there's one called SyncFlow and VoiceFlow. There are many on the market. You're going to have to choose what works for you and for your clients based on their needs, obviously. That's a research you're going to have to do. So what we're going to look at what a voice agent is. I'm going to give you like a small tour of the platform, and I'm going to talk about the tools that are going to be needed to make sure that the voice agent is fully functional, and I'm going to be testing it for mistakes or another thing that I probably have to say is that sometimes the agent will malfunction, so you're gonna have to test it over time before you can fully deploy it. So those are the things that we're going to look at. So what a voice agent is really a tool that understands speech and then generates response based on LLMs, right? And then can talk back to the client or to whatever system you give it to, so that there's a clear automation or workflow that needs to be completed. So there are technical things that we need to talk about here. You're going to talk about latency, and that is something that you need to really pay attention to, because the last thing you need is a flow that doesn't feel natural or robotic for your clients. You're going to have to choose a model, different models based on your needs or also your budget, because some models are more expensive than others. There's a multilingual support, though I'm yet to see it work properly. And obviously the action that you need, the data capture and the security. So the way that the platform is set up, you choose a model and you choose a voice and you check the latency and the cost and obviously the tokens. The tokens here increase based on the character that you use in your prompts. And obviously you also have a panel of controls here on the behavior and the memory and the speech setting that we're going to look at in a few minutes. So you're going to have to create, obviously, the brain, which is the prompts, and we're going to look at that just in a few minutes. The memory, where this is what we call the knowledge base. You're going to have to give your agent FAQ for your services, the pricing, the services, something that he can pull from in order to answer the questions that the clients or the prospect might have. We're going to also look at some of the way that it behaves and it speaks, and we're gonna test the audio to see if it works well and accordingly. And obviously, we're gonna talk about deployment and integration with other CRM or tools. But I'm gonna make this as straightforward as possible. Please feel free to stop me if you have a question. So before we build our agent, we will need two things. I just spoke about it. We will need system prompts. And essentially here, we will need to know to give the agent identity and core behavior. We're gonna give it also the silence and interaction fallback handling. So when it's interrupted, how to talk to people and how to do a back and forth. We're also gonna give it an opening script. All of these have been included in the agent. We're also gonna give it practice area classification questions. So in case they ask a specific word, they know exactly what to say and answer that. So there are general qualification on all matters, and then specifically to a specific, what's the word that I'm looking for? A specific section of the service that they offer. So here could be personal injury, or we have family laws. I made this as broad as possible, but to some instance, you might decide to focus on family laws only. Depending on the amount of advocates or lawyers that responds to a specific, let's say, department, because this could be different based on what you do. So these are the things that I'm gonna be adding on my prompts. And this is a knowledge base. This is essentially the memory that it's gonna need to answer questions about the business, let's say working hours, or the urgency or the FAQs, all of the things that the agent needs to really properly answer all the questions the right way. So I'm gonna now move into the tools that I'm gonna be using. Any questions so far? Am I going fast, slow? Any comments? Okay. So I spoke about the tools that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Retail AI to build the voice agent. And then I'm going to be using as well a tool called call.com. And this is where it's really the app that I'm going to use to connect to the calendar and to set up the appointments. Some other tools worth mentioning are Telnix and Twilio, which are the places where you get your phone numbers to have the agent fully functional. So basically, that is it. Let me show you the dashboard. AI. So yeah. Well, let me show you how you log in first. So when you log in into your retail dashboard, this is essentially how the dashboard looks like. This is where you have your agents. This is where you add your knowledge base. And this is where you keep your phone numbers. This is where you batch your calls. If you have many inbound calls that you want to make, this is where there's a call history. I'm going to show that to you once this is chat history. I'm not going to be doing any chat agent. That is if you building one, and then analytics and the rest of it. They initially give you like a free trial to try it. So this will be like a good place for you to try and then get started as you wish. Then here you get to choose the voice or the chat agent. So you can have a conversational flow. This is where you say exactly what you want the agent to say, or you can have a prompt or multi-prompt agent or a custom LLM. So some of them have templates that you can use, but for the sake of this example, I'm going to be using a multi-prompt agent. And because for this specific business, you need to be very specific about the things that you add and the things that you tell your agent to. Uh, so, yeah. So, as I showed you before, this is how the dashboard looks. This is the prompts that I showed you. This is where you tell everything that you, the conversational flow and everything, and the scripts, the do's and the don'ts, the guardrails, because what you don't want is for your agent to hallucinate, which can happen quite a bit. So you want to make sure that you put everything intact. The thing here is where you get to choose your LLM. So I've chosen a GDP 4.1 mini, and I've chosen tier. So what you'll see here is that there are different prices for different LLMs. I find that this works really fine. I use the first tier because I want the voice agent to respond quickly. But if you have any preference here, you can pick whatever you want. Just make sure that you understand the cost that goes with it. Then here you get to choose from a library of voices. Let me show you the one. So you can have your custom providers, whether it's Minimax, Fish Audio, 11 Lab, Cartesia, or OpenAI. I tend to lean towards 11 Labs. I feel like their voices are quite sound more natural than the rest, but that's a personal preference. At the end of the day, you choose what works for you and your clients. I chose multilingual because some of the script is in Swahili, but when I heard it, I don't know if, since it's not included in some of the languages here, I don't know how well it would do, but we're gonna test it and see if you can speak it. Here you get the costs of per minute, and the cost is really based on the voice that you've chosen, on the LLM or the voice agent, and your knowledge base. So all of these increase in your prices. Your latency also goes with the same thing. So the latency is quite okay, but you have to pay attention to how high you can get, because then you don't want your calls to lag and for your customers to be dissatisfied. The tokens here have to do with the number of characters that I've used. I've exceeded them, so I'm getting an extra charge on that. So that's something to think about when you build something, and when you build it also for your clients. But I don't think that these clients are sensitive, because they obviously deal with high ticket clients. So it won't be a very difficult thing to sell it to. So here in the function, we're gonna decide what we want the agent to do. Do we want them to just take on the call and then take the phone number and hang up, or do we want them to book an appointment? So here, I've given it certain data extraction variables for you to remember to ask certain things to the clients. But I also want them sometimes to give me the email or the phone number or the call name. Those are things that you keep adding. But you also want to give it a behavior on how it's going to hang up, because sometimes the machine doesn't know when to end. So you might want to give it like a prompt to say, end the call with this specific, once they say bye, you end the call. And this is how essentially you want to communicate so that it doesn't stay on. It's giving me an error. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Another thing that we want to do is for the agent to check the availability of let's say the advocates. and to see if they're available for a specific call, right? So what you want to do, as I showed you before, you want to go to call.com and create an event. And this is the event that you're going to use to connect to your voice agent. So I'm here in my call.com and I've created a free consultation event. And this event is going to be connected to my Google Calendar, and we're gonna choose whichever location that we want. Is this something that we want video conference, or do you want people to come in person? I'm going to keep it as a default, but this is something to think about when you choose your way of booking appointments. So what we're going to do here is that there's an event here that we need to connect with our retail voice agent. And what we're going to do first is we're going to take this number over here, because each event has a number attached to it. So here is where I put the event ID here. And then I'm going to also fetch an API code to connect this with a retail AI. So what you want to do, you want to go to settings, and then settings, you're going to find your API key here. So I'm going to create one called voice agent, and I want to create one that doesn't expire, essentially, and save it. I'm going to copy it and put it back here. So that way it's connected exactly to my voice agent. So anytime they call and they ask for a specific time or event on how to book with, let's say, a lawyer, the agent will first check the availability in the calendar and then give them an appropriate time. Another thing that we want to do here is also to book in the calendar. So it's one thing to know if it's available, it's another to also book within the calendar. So I'm going to bring back the key and then also the event ID. So essentially, I just told my agent how to function. And secondly, what I add is the knowledge base. I told you about what the knowledge base is about. This is exactly where you add it. You usually will add it in your database and then bring it here. It's a way of adding all your services, your FAQ, and your SOPs. Then we go into the speech setting. You want your agent to respond as quickly as possible. You also want it to be interruption sensitive. So as soon as someone talks back, it needs to, again, be able to pick the conversation up and to respond. You also want to enable back channeling, as in using words like, yeah, okay, so that it sounds a lot more natural and it sounds a little more human. So this is something to think about. And pronunciation here, because we have a word in Swahili, you might want to give it a proper way to pronounce it so that it knows exactly how to say it, especially if you're using a foreign language here, because these tools are really Americanized and they don't know how to pronounce African names. So you might also want to remove, let's say, the noise or the background noise, but you want to also understand that some of these things might affect your latency. So you want to also your pricing. So you want to make sure that while you're removing noise or background noise, that nothing in your system is really disturbed. So post data, this is where essentially you will have a summary of the call, and you can choose again which LLM you want to do that for you. So here's where you get the call summary or the call success or the user sentiment. Then we have webhooks and MSP. So webhooks really are are not things that we're going to use here because we've already connected to cal.com. But let's say that you are connecting to another CRM, you might want to use any of these settings because that's the way they pull data from something else. If there's an extra task or automation that you need your voice agent to do. In this instance, I've already given it functions here and connected it to cal.com, so I don't need to add any webhook or MSP here. So that's something to think about. So once I'm done with this section, essentially, I'm gonna think about how the welcome message is gonna look like, right? So do you let the user speak first, or do you want the AI to speak first? Here, I want the AI to speak first. And you can have a custom message or a dynamic one. I just kept it dynamic because I've given my agent the way to prompt this. So he knows exactly what to do. So at this point, let me see if I can test it and see if it answers some of the basic questions or if it still has the level of hallucination. And from there, I will take your questions before we move to the next lead. Hello? Hello?
Asante kwa kupigia kiongozi na Partners Advocates Nairobi. Jina langu ni Nima msaidizi. Naweza kukusaidiaje leo?
Okay, hi Nima, how are you?
Thank you for your greeting. How may I assist you with your legal matter today?
Okay, I wanted to ask about your services.
Okay, that is a good question. One of our advocates would be best placed to address that. Let me make sure I collect your details so they can reach you.
But I first want to know about your businesses before I book an appointment.
That is something our advocates would need to advise you on directly. I can arrange a consultation for you. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, it would, but I first need to know if you can serve me.
Could you kindly help me understand? Is your matter related to an accident or injury, a
Yeah.
family matter, a land or
Personal
property
injury.
issue? Thank you for that information. When did this matter first arise? Roughly, when did the injury happen or begin?
So as you can see, you can respond and it's it is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, because what I told it is to never give legal advice of any kind. So the outcome here should be to just explain what we do so that they can then they can get them to book an appointment with a legal representative. That way the business doesn't lose any call in between. So this works really well in places where people are too busy and the receptionist doesn't necessarily have time to attend to each and every query, each and every email. This is an easy way to set up a phone line where they can get all the details and they can be oriented to the right person that needs this. So I'm gonna take your question because now I'm done with building the, oh well, not fully done. I have to show you how. I have to show you. Essentially, once you have your agent up and running, you have to connect your phone. Here you can buy a new phone or you can connect it to your via SIP trunking. And if you recall, I told you that there are two ways that you can do that. You can either buy a phone from Telnix over here, telnix.com or twilio.com. Those are the two places that essentially send SMS services that you can use for your agents. So essentially, this is where you'll be adding this is an inbound. I don't know why they have outbound transport, but this is for your inbound number. This is essentially where I put mine because this is where I've uploaded my my AI agent. But again, when you serve many clients, you cannot have it in a place like this, right? This is essentially where you keep yours, or but you cannot serve many businesses here like this. So what you will need is something called an AI wrapper, and you can decide whether you sell this on a subscription basis, or you sell it high ticket to companies. So it's up to you to decide what kind of business model works for you. We're gonna discuss it a bit later on, but I will need to take your questions now because we're gonna move into monetization and outreach after this. Questions? So I'm going to continue if there are no questions. So I'm going to talk about why I targeted law firms, because here what we have a high return on investment and there's a speed needed here. And right here, right now, there's a low competition if you look at law firms, but they really have, excuse me, these are the people who are going to spend money on things that they deem necessary for their businesses. So if you can tell them that they're no longer gonna lose any lead along the way and that they're going to be served 24/7, this is something that they can easily understand. So then how do you find these companies? The first thing you could do if you don't have a network just yet is to go online and check Google Maps for all the businesses, right? And find the businesses that are already running paid ads or have a number displayed or are small firms and practitioners, because you want to start with case studies before you bring them to bigger firms, because bigger firms have gatekeepers likely because a lot of people are trying to get to them. So you can show that you can build a sizable income from small firms and practitioners, then you can pitch it to even bigger clients along the way. So the way you would design your call outreach in terms of email would really be to write them in the simplest of ways, because remember, these people are busy, they don't have time to read a long written email, right? So you want a title that tells them immediately what you want. So it could be, are you losing client after 5 p.m. or are you losing missed calls? And you can make a case of almost like losing 8 clients a month means losing $20,000. And once you tell them that and you show them where the friction is, you can then ask them to book a demo. Or if they prefer that you call them, or if they prefer that you send them a small video, you can record yourself on Loom and then send it to them and let them know what you can do for them. At the end of the day, you're going to have to be also patient. You need at least 5 to 6 interactions before you can really land the client, because remember, this is high ticket. They're not gonna fold on the first interaction. So you need to know how to go about this, and you need to be very specific about it. So remember what I said about monetization, right? And in this tool, what I essentially show you is to, once you decide on the niche that you want to have and you target a problem and choose a monthly retainer, which could be between 500 to 2,000, depending on the integration and the customization that you're going to give them. Then you choose the type of delivery model that you want. Here we are choosing a retainer, obviously, right? So after you're done with that, you can get then a value proposition. You can, this tool also shows you how you can write your first cold email and a follow-up email and the likely ways in which you can design your subscription tiers, right? So let's say for 800, they get the very first thing that I designed. But let's say that now they want to add SMSs, follow-up sequences, and something that might require you to use multiple automation workflows, then you can increase the price based again on what they need. But remember, your price has to really look at the return on investment. They're not going to just pay you for automation. They don't care for automation. You're going to have to show them how your solution is going to make them money. Remember the example that I gave you. If you're losing 8 clients per month and those 8 clients cost you $20,000, let's say, paying $800 or $1,600 a month won't be anything that they are opposed to. So think about that as you go along. Think about ways in which you can enrich the experience, and take it one at a time and be very patient when you pitch. These are not people who necessarily understand your automation and your business. So you're gonna have to make sure that you explain yourself. Like I said, it's gonna take you 5 to 6 interactions before they close on you. So that is definitely something that you need to do. The reason I showed you this the way to build like an agent, and the reason it's very important is, for example, let's say that you don't necessarily have clients or experience here. The things that you need to do is to show them what you can do. So once you have something that works for them, because essentially what I do here, it's an add-on to a service, right? Once they have a website, they want the website to work fully for them. And what I give them are voice agents and chat agents, so that they don't lose any lead along the way. And those chat agents or voice agents are really versed into the business. So think about it as you build everything. Take really time to learn your market and to do your research. Take the time to really build something tangible that you can draw and that you can promote, whether that's online or with your network. That way you can start selling slowly by slowly and increasing your prices over time. So I think that's all that I can give you today. If you have more questions, I think that I can leave you with my email. But beyond that, that was basically a small intro into selling and building AI voice agents.
Thank you so much. This has been so educational and it's been beautiful. Thank you. Now we're going to open up the floor to any questions. Feel free to ask, because this was a bit of a crash course. So we have enough time for you to ask any questions. And also, if you can, in the chat, just add the sites that we were using and the platforms that are necessary so that people can explore them at their free time. But any questions? Anyone?
Arafat's hand is up. Arafat, I think Arafat Ibrahim. Can you see her end?
Oh, yes. Okay. Please go on and ask.
Okay. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I actually just wanted to ask, the last slide you shared was based on subscription and all of that. So I want to know, are you the one hosting the automation for the clients, or you go and build it in their environment and they kind of place you like a monthly retainer where you help them check the workflow and see, maybe just look at things and just for maintenance? So are you the one hosting and they just pay you a subscription fee? Because I know that some automation guys do that, or you just, do it in their own environment. And, these people we are talking about, they're not like tech savvy. So which way is the best to go around that? I think you're muted.
I'm sorry. Do you want to sell this as a subscription based, like something like the way I've seen some people sell this is that they build these agents and they sell them on a subscription base, let's say one agent for like $40 a month, instead of just going to a company and then you build this based on volume. Is it what you're asking me? Because I couldn't hear properly. There was a bit of noise. Can you please repeat your question?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's exactly what I was saying. It's actually very possible, and I see a lot of people do that. So what you can do here, let's say that you go into the retail dashboard and you create, let's say, 10 different agents. And what you do then is you find a voice wrapper, voice AI wrapper. There are many services that do that. And those wrappers allow you to have a client dashboard, which means that when they buy from you, they pay a subscription and they only see their pages. So that's a different product. The one that I showed you here is sold client by client. So I don't know if that's what you're interested in. It's a different type of a product, but it's definitely, I see a lot of people do that. They say either chat agents or voice agents, and it works really well. Though it requires you to have a high volume of website visitors and a network. Essentially, I see that work mostly for maybe non-YouTubers or these big tech companies. But I mean, it's something you can start definitely. And yeah, you get a recurring revenue without doing much of the work because it's fully automated. Once you build it on those voice wrappers, all you need to do is to really onboard the clients, and it's typically 90% automation. All you need to do after that is just customer care and answering questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Angie, I have a question. Can you state out every tools you used today?
So some of the tools I showed you are some of the ones that I created, but for this, for building the voice agent, it's Retail AI. Let me just give you all the links to this. Let me put it in the chat. So Retail AI for voice platform, call.com for calendar and booking appointments. Telnix. Sorry. Telnix and Twilio for phone numbers. The other two tools that I use for validation and monetization are the tools that I've created. If you guys want access to them, they are not yet monetized. These are things that I use for my clients when we do the work of building their voice agents. But if some of you want access to them, some of them, this one that builds your monetization is currently free, and you get to use it like 5 times a day for free. So what it gives you exactly is the architecture of your agent, your production prompts, logic and integration, and offer pricing. So once you choose the type of agent that you want to build, it builds you a blueprint. So here it gives you an idea on how to monetize. It gives you the workflow. Here it gives you the script. You remember we had to use a prompt for a script. And here it gives you the identity, the tech stack, the capabilities, but these are just mine. They're not on the market. I use them for my clients, and the other one that I use for validation is also mine. But if the people want access to them, I can definitely make it available for them. If anyone also is interested in working with me, this is definitely something that we do. I have a service that I offer, and basically it's a 90-minute monetization and AI agent building. So what we do is exactly what we did here. I help you niche down, I help you position yourself, and I help you build and monetize a voice or a chat agent, or any type of solution that you want to bring to the market so that you can make money as soon as possible. I would encourage you guys to really get into this. think of ways in which you can serve your market, or even think regionally or internationally, because with the internet right here, right now, I'm just talking to all of my fellow Africans, and I think it's an opportunity that you can't miss. You literally have it within you to create so much great things, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. And if you want to get in touch, I can definitely leave you my email. Otherwise, I think if there are no any other questions, that we are good to go. Any questions so far?
How do we reach you?
Oh, let me give you my, are you on the chat? Let me give you my email so that you can write.
Joanna has a question.
Sure, go ahead. I added
Hi.
my email on the chat so you can find it there.
Thanks so much, Ange. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I
Joanna
don't
has a
have.
question. I think there's someone.
Yes, Grace, I can hear you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thanks, Ange. This was really amazing. I
Thank
just
you.
really would like to know if we are going to get the recording.
That's not up to me. Grace, you want to take this?
Yeah, definitely. There will be a recording on our YouTube. Are you on the community platform?
No. I think I
Okay, let
just.
me paste this here.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
Please share the slides as well.
Sure. Was there anyone from Rwanda, by the way? I know I did something from Kenya, but I wanted to see if there's anyone from Rwanda here. No? Oh, Burundian, hello. So nice to see you. So any other question, guys? Oh, Burundian from Uganda. So your name told me something, Suggest, because I was like, that's not Ugandan. Good, good. Nice to meet you, Suggest. Oh. You are so quiet. 30 people and none of you had a question. Like only 2 of you. So I'm gonna hand it over to you, Tapiwa. I think if there's no other question, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you so much. If you need to reach out, I've left my email on the chat. Feel free to reach out if you want to build an AI solution or e-commerce business. I'm really excited to see what all of you are doing and the work that you're doing in Africa. Our continent is rising in ways that we haven't even seen. So I'm really grateful for this wonderful community and for the time that you have given me. So again, big thank you to Loretta, to Grace, and the rest of the community. If there's nothing else, I think I'm done. But feel free if you have a question.
Thank you so much, Angie. This has been so enlightening, and I'm pretty sure more questions are going to come as people explore the platforms that you've given us and as people go through the recording and the slides. So just stay put, because I'm sure you're going to be getting a lot of emails, but thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that attended and everybody that stayed up until this point. This has been very successful, and I think we have come to the end of our session. So I just need some feedback in the comments. Tell me your favorite thing. What have you gotten? What have you learned? I would like to see that everyone leaves this call with something that they've taken away from everything that Angie was teaching us. But otherwise, until the next time we have this, right now I'm just going to leave the platform open for up minutes just so that we can have any other remaining questions, any clarifications before we leave. But otherwise, oh yes, Akeem, there is a community to join up. I'm pretty sure Grace is going to be adding the link to the chat very soon. And it's a vast community. We would love to have you there. So please hop on, and everybody have a lovely, lovely weekend. And thank you for joining us. I'll hand over to Grace so that she can just say anything if she has anything to say. But my job here is done, and it's been a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining. So let's meet here again bi-weekly. We meet here every bi-weekly Saturday. So we'll be having another event coming up. I would love to see everyone. Thank you so much, Angie. You're really an angel. Thank you, Tapiwa. I really appreciate it. So please, everybody, join the community so you get the recording, and I'll reach out to Angie for the slides so you can go through them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Take care of yourselves.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.